Set against the backdrop of a 1970s American economic recession, Sam Shepard's play Buried Child unfolds on an Illinois farm. It revolves around Halie and Dodge, a middle-class couple struggling with poverty, along with their two children, Tilden and Bradley, who is an amputee. Throughout the play, rain permeates the atmosphere, symbolizing the helplessness felt by Americans during this uncertain period in history. The adage "when it rains, it pours" echoes the compounding problems faced by the characters. The rain also serves as a metaphor for the deep-rooted issues that will soon surface within the narrative. Halie and Dodge engage in arguments from their separate rooms. Halie mentions that Tilden and Bradley will take care of Dodge while she goes out for lunch with Father Dewis. Tilden enters Dodge's room carrying corn, claiming to have picked it from the field behind the house. However, Dodge suspects Tilden of stealing the corn. Meanwhile, from her room, Halie mourns her two sons, and the reader discovers that their younger son, Ansel, has passed away. In a curious moment, Dodge references a buried child in the yard, defending Tilden when Halie accuses him of theft upon seeing the corn. Eventually, Halie leaves the house dressed in funeral attire to meet Father Dewis. Bradley arrives and shaves Dodge's head while he sleeps. Later, Tilden's estranged son, Vince, arrives with his girlfriend, Sally. As Tilden enters the house with carrots, neither Tilden nor Dodge recognizes Vince, provoking his anger. Vince eventually leaves to get alcohol for Dodge, leaving Sally alone with the family. As Sally persistently questions Tilden about recognizing Vince, she learns that Tilden did have a son, the buried child in the yard. Dodge tries to silence Tilden, but collapses onto the floor. In the subsequent events, Bradley enters and aggressively interrogates Sally, even resorting to placing his hands in her mouth. Frightened, Tilden escapes, leaving Sally alone in the house. Later, Dodge advises Sally that the best way to challenge Bradley is by simply discarding his wooden leg. Halie returns accompanied by Father Dewis, whom she has been flirting with. She is now dressed in a yellow dress adorned with yellow flowers. Sally expresses her initial anticipation of meeting the family, but finds their disturbing secrets unsettling. She scolds them for harboring such a repulsive truth. Despite the family's objections, Dodge eventually confesses that Tilden's child is indeed buried in the yard. Allegedly, the child was the result of incest between Halie and Tilden. Dodge admits to drowning the child and burying it on the property. A drunk Vince returns home, and at long last, both Dodge and Halie recognize him as their grandson. Dodge, in a final act, bequeaths the house to Vince. Vince throws Bradley's wooden leg out of the house and dismisses Father Dewis, while Sally decides to leave Vince. Suddenly, Vince notices that Dodge has passed away and respectfully covers his body with a blanket. Tilden then enters the house, carrying the corpse of the buried child, and ascends the stairs towards Halie, who can be heard commenting on a field of vegetables behind the house. As the play unfolds against the backdrop of an economic recession, numerous pertinent themes emerge. Hope, sustenance, community, and family all resonate throughout the narrative. Vices also play a thematic role, reflecting the struggles faced by many during this troubled period. Thus, while the themes of infanticide and incest plague Halie, Dodge, and their family, and are inherently negative, they serve as symbols of broader societal issues. During the 1970s recession, America feared the potential destruction of its moral and political standing, as its role as a global leader seemed at risk in the eyes of the world. The play portrays vices such as infanticide and incest, which are condemned by Sally as representing the disapproving outside world. These vices blind the family to the abundance that is right before their eyes throughout the entire narrative. Their focus on vice rather than virtue prevents them from recognizing the potential for goodness. Interestingly, it is only when Tilden unearths his murdered child and brings it inside, acknowledging the horrifying truth, that a shift can be observed within the play. Upstairs, Halie catches sight of a field behind the house, abundant with vegetables. Initially, such a sight seemed impossible. Dodge even doubts Tilden's honesty when he enters the house with fresh corn, supposedly from that very field. Halie's vision symbolizes America's own aspiration for a brighter future after confronting and addressing its vices, rectifying past mistakes, and moving forward. The authenticity of this vision is also significant. If it is imagined, it embodies the spirit of hope and resilience that persists amidst the difficulties of poverty. If it is a real image, the field of vegetables becomes a pivotal moment in history, a powerful representation of America's resurgence, prosperity, and a return of its abundance. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.